Hello, friends. Today I'll be walking you through the Unit 8 Friends Find Ways to Agree, Lesson 4 Friends Find Ways to Agree Right portfolio assignment. In this portfolio, you'll be completing and publishing your final draft of your opinion writing piece. Before we begin, let's review your lesson to see what you'll be writing or what you've been writing about. Objective. That's what you need to do. In this section, you will present the opinion text you have published. Here are the key words. The word present means to tell about a text as people listen, and the word publish means to make a final copy and share with others. Friends find ways to agree. Show what you know. Writers like to share their opinion. First, they write it down and publish it. Then they present their text. They read it to someone. They show their pictures too. Soon you will present your opinion text. You will read it to your learning coach. But first practice. Read your text out loud, then read it again. Use these tips. Number 1. Look for commas. Pause when you see them. Number 2. Stop at the end of each sentence. Number 3. Try not to read too fast. Number 4. Say each word clearly. And number 5. Share your picture if you have one. So you've been writing an opinion draft and practicing revising and editing and making it as great and as improved as you can. So your opinion text was based on your favorite part of Wallace. Here's your rubric. Here's what we need to have. In your opinion that writing that you're going to publish, you should have a topic sentence. The topic sentence names the story the writer has read, and it uses a feeling word to tell an opinion about a favorite part. You also need reasons and examples. The writer gives two clear reasons to explain their opinion, and an example from the story is used to explain each reason. The reasons and examples are clearly connected to the opinion. A closing sentence. A closing sentence clearly restates the writer's opinion, how you feel. Sentences and spelling. The writer uses I, me, and my to talk about their opinion. Titles are underlined when handwritten. Most words are spelled correctly. Publishing and presenting. Handwriting is neat and easy to read, and the student presents their ideas clearly and in an interesting way. So you'll be turning in your final draft of your opinion piece, and you'll be presenting it to your learning coach, your caretaker or parent. You'll be reading it out loud. Let's look at one of the examples that was shown in one of your previous lessons. Here is the opinion piece that was revised and edited and improved that Leah wrote. So she has her title. Her title is The Best Part. She has her name since she's the author. She wrote this paragraph. It says by Leah Dern. Here's her opinion of Wallace. I think the best part of Wallace is when the boy uses his flashlight as a sword. So that's her topic sentence. She's already introduced what her favorite part is. That's her opinion. This is the best part to her. It is the best part because it is exciting. That's why she has that opinion. The boy cuts the big shadow into little pieces. You do not know what will happen. So that's one of the reasons she thinks this part is exciting. Another reason is that this part makes me laugh. The boy says that the little pieces scream. They run away like mice. That is so funny. So she's got those text examples, pieces of the story that she really enjoyed that help her form this opinion. That is so funny. The way the boy uses the flashlight is my favorite part. So this is an example. This doesn't have to be your same opinion, but this is an example of a full and complete paragraph that Leah could present to someone or share with someone. She has everything that we just reviewed in that rubric. So that's a pretty good example. Now, just in case you haven't already, let's go ahead and review the story Wallace. Now, I'm reviewing the approaching reader version. There are two other versions that get harder in difficulty level. You can choose the version that you would like to use the most. Wallace by Rowley. Art by Tina Kugler. Meet my shadow. His name's Wallace. I was gonna name him Biscuit, but who wants a shadow named Biscuit? Not me. Wallace is good at lots of stuff, like shadow tag and follow the leader, but not teeter-totter. Wallace stinks at teeter-totter. Anyhow, this one time me and Wallace were at the park. We were going down the big slide. We got to the bottom and grrr, said a great big shadow. It was standing in the sand. I was scared, but Wallace was really scared, so he took off. Look, there's his shadow, Wallace, running away from this bigger, scarier shadow. Come back, Wallace! I shouted, but he was gone. Me your shadow now, said the great big shadow. Okay, sir, I said. What else could I do? He was huge. We play tag, said the shadow. Well, we tried, but I couldn't get too far ahead of him. The big shadow would roar, "Stop!" and I'd have to wait for him to catch up. It was no fun. We play follow leader, said the shadow. Well, we tried, but the big shadow always wanted to be the leader. Talk about bossy. We play teeter-totter, said the shadow. That didn't work either. Even a big shadow weighs like nothing. It's a fact. I had to get rid of this guy fast. So I scratched my head. That lets all the ideas out. It's a fact. Aha! I said at last. Why you say that? Asked the big shadow. Follow me, was all I said. And we walked and walked and walked. Finally, we came to the hardware store. You need hammer? Asked the big shadow. Just wait outside, I told him. I went in and came back out with a flashlight. What that? Asked the shadow. Just watch, I said. I turned it on. On guard, I yelled, 'cause the beam was like a sword. Huh? He said, 'cause shadows don't speak French. And then, pew, pew, I attacked. Swish, whoosh, pow. On guard is French for on guard. When I was done, the shadow was in 100 little pieces. Each of them gave a tiny scream. Eek! They scurried down the street like mice. It was great. By then it was getting kind of late, so I walked home. When I got there, someone was sitting on the front steps. Wallace! It was great having Wallace back. We played shadow boxing and hide and seek, but not catch. Wallace stinks at catch. All right, so this is our text. You need to decide which part you think was the best. So we all have different opinions. Your opinion might not be the same as Leah's example. Your opinion might not be the same as my example. That's okay. I have this template that I'm going to put in the description of the video, and it will help make sure that you include all of the key parts that you need to make sure you get a great grade. So the first thing we need is a title. When we look at Leah's example, let me pull that right back up for us. Her title is The Best Part, right? That's what she's sharing, her opinion of the best part. I don't want to have the exact same title, so I'm going to write my favorite part. It's almost the same because our topic, our writing topic is the same, but I don't want to be exactly the same as Leah's. So I wrote my favorite part as my title. Whoops. Now I need that topic sentence. Remember, the topic sentence needs to include the title of the book we read. So we need Wallace in there. We also need to make sure we underline it. Let's look at Leah's example again. I think the best part of Wallace is when the boy uses his flashlight as a sword. It is the best part because it is exciting. That's not my favorite part. I think my favorite part of Wallace, I think it was when he said they can't play teeter-totter because they don't have any weight, right? The big shadow and his regular shadow, Wallace, neither of them could play teeter-totter because they don't weigh anything. So that's what I'm going to put in my topic sentence. The best part of Wallace, and remember that title needs to be capitalized. It needs to start out with a capital letter, even though it's in the middle of our sentence. It also should be underlined. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to make a line right underneath that title of Wallace. The best part of Wallace was how the boy's shadow can't teeter-totter. I think that's funny because, of course, we know shadows do not weigh anything, right? They're not an actual thing. So the best part of Wallace was how the boy's shadow can't teeter-totter. I've got Wallace in there and I've got it capitalized and underlined. I'm also sharing my opinion. I'm saying this is what I think the best part is. This is my favorite part of the story. Now we need some details from our text. So let's go back and look at our text. I want to talk about what Wallace is good at, right? Because Wallace is good at playing some things since it's a shadow, but not everything. Wallace is a shadow. I think that's important, right? To introduce who Wallace actually is. Shadows are light, right? That is why Wallace is not good at teeter-totter. So now I have a detail. Wallace is a shadow. Shadows are light. I've got my capital letter at the beginning and I've got my period at the end. Let's go back to our text. What was Wallace good at? Shadow tag and follow the leader, right? Wallace plays shadow tag and follow the leader. So these are the things he can do. These are details from my story. Wallace plays shadow tag and follow the leader. Now I want to say why I think this part is the best. I think it's funny, right? I think, remember we're using I, my, me, words like that. I think it is funny that the boy plays with his shadow. I think it's funny that he tries to play anything at all. I think it is funny that the boy plays with his shadow. Now we need a closing. Let's go back and let's look at Leah's closing and how she wraps up what her favorite part is. That is so funny. The way the boy uses the flashlight is my favorite part. So she's restating what she thought the best part was, that he used the flashlight as a sword. Now, my favorite part is how Wallace can't play teeter-totter. So I need to restate that in my closing sentence. So I'm going to say that again. Wallace being too light to teeter-totter. Such a funny word. Teeter-tottering, if you don't know, is like a seesaw. It's when you have the piece of wood and one side goes up and one side goes down. That's just not going to work with a shadow, right? The shadow has no weight. Wallace being too light to teeter-totter is my favorite part. So I've restated what my opinion is, started with an uppercase or capital letter again, and ended with a period. So let's read the full final draft. Remember, you want to practice reading it to yourself before you present it to your parent or caretaker. I've got my name, Mrs. C, and my title, My Favorite Part. I've also got Wallace underlined. The best part of Wallace was how the boy's shadow can't teeter-totter. Wallace is a shadow. Shadows are light. Wallace plays shadow tag and follow the leader. I think it is funny that the boy plays with his shadow. Wallace being too light to teeter-totter is my favorite part. So I've got details from the story that help my reader understand what I'm talking about, who Wallace is, and why I think him not being able to teeter-totter is the funniest part. So let's go back to our rubric and let's make sure we did not forget any steps. We have our topic sentence. It names the story that we read, Wallace, and it uses a feeling word to tell the opinion about their favorite part. So the best part, that's how I feel, right? We have reasons to explain our opinion and examples from the story that go with those reasons. We also have the closing sentence that restates the writer's opinion. Wallace being too light to teeter totter is my favorite part. We did use the word I, me, my. We used that at least once, and we underlined our title. Most words are spelled correctly. Handwriting is neat and easy to read. And when you present your idea, you're going to present it clearly. So when I read it out loud to you guys, I read it clearly. That way you could hear it. I paused for those periods or commas, and I made sure that you could hear all of the words clearly. Once you do this, you're going to take a picture of your final draft. If you need to make any corrections, make them before you turn it in. You can use this template if you'd like to help you, but you don't have to. You can use a sheet of lined paper. You can use a sheet of unlined paper as long as you keep it nice and neat. You can use whatever helps you create your final draft best. You can also share any pictures if you want to draw an illustration and attach that as well. Make sure you turn in all the pages you need to. So mine is on one page. I would only have one page to turn in. But if yours takes up more than one page, make sure you upload a picture of each page for your teacher to grade. I'm sure if you do that, you're going to get an amazing grade and do an amazing job. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.